Gente de mente bonita, pues miren, estoy aquí con el ser humano responsable de que haya decidido venir a hacer este viaje y quiero decirles que una de las cosas más importantes que Tulum me ha traído ha sido conocer gente maravillosa como él y me encanta que haya hecho esta selección de grupo para venir a festejar su cumpleaños porque de verdad que he encontrado en cada una de las personas características sumamente importantes y relevantes que definitivamente describen lo que es este hermoso ser humano. Así que también va a ser un reto para mí. Voy a hacer esta entrevista en inglés, aunque me gustaría hacerla en español, porque él habla español, pero no quiero hablar español. Pero bueno, lo voy a hacer en inglés. Inglés no es como, para mí es un reto, porque quiero empezar a hacer entrevistas en inglés. Y de pronto la gente no habla inglés porque les da pena, porque no lo hablas bien. Pero si no lo hablas, si no lo practicas, nunca vas a ser mejor. Así que, bueno, there we go. This is going to be actually my first interview in English.
Oh my god, I'm honored.
But I'll do my best. I know I love making my interviews in Spanish because, you know, whenever it's your first language, you feel more confident, right?
Yeah.
But okay, let's try to do it. So I met this guy in Tulum, and then from there, I just feel like admiration of him because he just turned out 33 years old, right?
33. See my jersey?
Oh, yeah. So, but he has, you know, like this entrepreneur soul and this powerful life about freedom, about happiness, about, you know, helping people, everything. And he's just like 33. I mean, he's super young and he's so amazing. So, tell us, what's your background, where are you coming from, and yeah, let's start from that.
Awesome. And I feel the same way about you, and thank you for the kind words. Yeah, actually, like Tulum in Mexico is a pretty special place for me because when I was there, I lived there almost during most of the pandemic. And I used that time to reflect and also start a company and start a fund, actually, which I'll tell you guys about in a second. So, yeah, my name is Farooq. I grew up in Chicago. That's where I was born. My family is Indian, pretty Indian conservative. Parents were born there. My two older siblings were born there. And then
Let me make a translation. Su nombre es Farooq y él nació en Chicago,
sí.
Pero sus padres son de India. Y él es el más chico. Are you the younger?
Sí.
Oh, de 4 hermanos. Okay?
Yeah.
Hasta aquí.
Yeah.
Y su familia es muy conservadora. Muy conservadora.
Muy conservadora,
right.
Sí.
Okay.
That's verdad. And everyone went on the same path. Everyone mostly became physicians and scientists, and I think the reason is that when you come from a country where there's a lot of immigrants and also like just a lot of people, India is full of, you know, you need bridges, you need people, you need hospitals, you need all these sort of things, and so there were a lot of graduates of university of like the science, math, technology, but really in my family it was like doctor or bust. And for a long time I had to figure out if I wanted to do it, and I got a lot of pressure, but then at some point I just decided I couldn't because every moment that is lived should be lived really passionately and fully.
Let me translate.
Yeah.
So, lo que dice es que su familia es muy conservadora y que en India prácticamente te hacen como estudiar para ser físico.
Sí.
Físico. Entonces, físico o doctor.
Yeah.
Entonces, él estuvo pensando mucho tiempo si realmente eso quería hacer en la vida y su respuesta siempre fue no. Así que, what do you say, like the last phrase? Like, it was perfect.
The last thing is, so when I decided to not become a doctor and I decided to do my own thing.
Cuando decidió no ser doctor y decidió tomar su propio camino.
Yeah, the biggest lesson or thing I thought through is every moment that we live should be lived with like pure passion and inspiration.
Cada momento que vivamos, asegúrate de que sea lleno de pasión.
Yeah, like you need to bleed for it. Like it has to be the thing that you do, and if you feel that way, everything you do with that feeling will be better and better and better.
Lo que sea que hagas con ese sentimiento siempre va a ser mejor y mejor y mejor.
So what I wanted to do, and what I even when I was a kid, there was this game in recess like where the kids would play. We'd play tag, guys, the boys versus the girls, and the girls would always lose, unfortunately, at the very beginning.
So cuando eran chicos jugaban un juego que eran los niños contra las niñas y las niñas siempre iban a perder, desafortunadamente.
And it bothered me.
Y eso le molestaba.
And it bothered me and it made me sad, and so I actually joined the girls' team.
él se cambió al equipo de las chicas
and the boys made fun of me.
y los chicos se reían de él.
I might have been ahead of the game, you know, and like, but actually at this point I didn't even know if I liked girls. First grade maybe, but I've always had this feeling if there's inequality or there's an underdog or there's someone who isn't getting a fair share, it is my duty to fix the imbalance.
Okay.
That's important for me. And so what I do in my career is I find entrepreneurs, so people who start companies who work really, really hard.
So, that's very interesting. Like, cuando él se cambió al equipo de las chicas, se dio cuenta de que una de sus pasiones iba a ser esa, justamente como ayudar a los que se sienten o más débiles y necesitan como un empujón para salir adelante, y de ahí empezó con este, que es ahora su trabajo, que es apoyar a los emprendedores.
Exactly. And when people start companies, entrepreneurship companies, they have so much anxiety. It's also like risky.
Cuando los emprendedores empiezan cualquier idea, cualquier negocio, ellos tienen mucha ansiedad y mucha inseguridad.
Yeah, inseguridad, like financially, you can't go.
Dinero.
Yeah, you can't go to a bank. You know, al banco no da like dinero.
Préstamos.
So yeah, they just don't do it. And so what I do is I find these types of people and I listen to their ideas and I ask them really good questions and I do research and I introduce them to other people that can help them develop the idea. Maybe they can hire them. Maybe they can find a customer through an introduction.
So, lo que hace ahora es como escuchar las ideas de los emprendedores y ya sea que los apoya él directamente o los canaliza con algunas otras personas para que los ayuden.
And once I decide that I want to work with them, after getting to know them for sometimes a few days, but most often a few weeks or a few months, I'll give them money. And what's good is I'll actually, the money that we give, part of it is mine. The other part of it are nonprofits and endowments that basically give money to people like me so they can do philanthropic initiatives once the companies become big.
Right.
Yeah.
So, entonces, una parte del dinero con el que apoya viene en su bolsillo, pero también otra parte la uso mucho para hacer labores filantrópicas, altruistas.
Yeah. And yeah, I love it. And things that you might have maybe heard of that I've been involved with. You've used Shazam for music.
Shazam, sí.
Yeah, it's un compañía de
Inglaterra.
Inglaterra.
Shazam es una compañía de Inglaterra y trabaja con ella.
And so when I lived there, we invested in Shazam.
Ellos invirtieron en Shazam.
Right when the iPhone App Store was starting, and then it became very, very popular. And that was one that I was involved with.
Se ha involucrado, es solamente una de las con las cuales se ha involucrado para invertir y que ha crecido.
And now, what I tend to focus on is cybersecurity. So basically companies that help all of us, everyone individually, be more secure with our phones, with our bank account information, this type of stuff, because it's a personal passion of mine. And I think the world doesn't know how not secure their digital lives are. And I don't want bad things to happen. So,
ahora se trabaja como en la seguridad de todos nosotros a través de la tecnología, porque bueno, es algo muy importante para él, prevenir que pasen cosas malas en la gente.
And those things for me, they're very, very passionate for me, but going back to an earlier point, I just want everyone who I meet, everyone who I work with, interact with, I want them to feel passion and love for the things they do, because again, I believe I do my job really well because I love it, and I think other people should keep the same bar.
So, él quiere estar seguro de que con todas las personas con las que él trabaja sientan la misma pasión y amor por lo que hacen, porque porque le gustaría que todas las personas realmente puedan sentir esa felicidad de hacer lo que hacen en cada momento. I have a question, Farooq. Tell us a little bit about your childhood. Like how was it? Like, were you? I mean, I know your parents still together, but how was your childhood? Like, pretty much like.
Yeah. So I grew up in Chicago, in the South Side. The South Side of Chicago is not the most safe place. Unfortunately, there's a lot of gun violence in that part, and also, interestingly, it's very conservative, very Republican, and so.
Bueno, nació en Chicago y creció en un barrio que no era muy seguro. Hay muchos balaceras.
Yeah.
Y Ajá. Y es muy conservador. El barrio donde nació es muy, muy conservador.
Yeah. But what was wonderful, and actually I love Chicago, my household was very, very, very loving. Unconditional love, like no matter what. Strong points of view, and people want you to do certain expectations for what I should do or my siblings should do, but a lot of love. And I love my family a lot, and I think one of the reasons I'm here is because of them, for sure. My mom and my brother have been real mentors to me in very different ways. And yeah, I changed a lot during childhood. When I was younger, I was very academic and nerdy. Then when I got a little bit older, I became a little bit more social.
Ha cambiado, antes era como muy estudioso, muy nerd, y ahora con el tiempo se ha hecho como más sociable.
And whatever
But pretty much your childhood was like a happy boy. You know, there was nothing missing in your place, love, abundance.
Absolutely. And I'm really grateful that my parents, for most of our universities for college, they helped pay for it, which I know isn't true for a lot of other people.
Right.
And in the U.S., college is very expensive, and so I wasn't really missing anything.
So, what would you say it's the more important ingredient in your food, talking in terms life, in terms profession, in terms you said you're talking about passion and love.
Sure. So for them, I almost coach them to become more comfortable with the idea of risk. Everything that we do is risky. Staying in your own job is risky because of all the things you're missing out on and the things that you're not doing. Starting a company is risky. I think most people, most human beings, they're not good at understanding what's risky behavior. Everything is risky, so you might as well do something and feel good about trying something. And the thing that
lo que les dice es como que tienes que tomar el riesgo. Lo que sea que quieras hacer, tienes que pues atreverte a hacerlo y siempre va a haber un riesgo, pero hazlo, no importa, no importa que haya un riesgo.
The other thing that I try to tell them is the best version of them is when their mind is calm and relaxed.
La mejor versión de ti mismo es cuando tu mente está tranquila.
Calm, relaxed mind.
Mente relajada.
And they feel like they are in a safe space.
Y sientes que estás en un lugar seguro.
Because if they're better themselves, everyone they hire, everyone who works with them, their customers, their partners, will have a better experience.
So, tienes que estar súper bien tú para que todos a tu alrededor estén también de una forma increíble. What do you do to keep your mind calm? You work out, you do meditations, you read, I don't know, what's your tools?
For me, the answer for everyone is different.
Yeah.
I really lean into speaking with my family.
La respuesta de esta pregunta es muy diferente para todos, pero él encuentra paz y tranquilidad en su mente hablando con su familia.
The other thing for me specifically is I love the human body a lot. And so what I'll do every once or twice a week, I'll go inside a sauna. Sauna, and then I'll go into a cold plunge of 30 degrees.
Lo que hace regularmente 2 veces a la semana es entrar al sauna y después meterse a tinas con muy baja temperatura.
Because your body just focuses on finding balance,
sí.
And so my brain finds balance too.
Entonces lo que hacen cuando vas con este cambio de temperaturas es que prácticamente tienes que estar tranquilo para encontrar este balance, entonces tu mente deja de pensar y está tranquila.
Yeah.
What would be the most difficult part of your career, of your profession? ¿Cuál es la parte más difícil de su carrera como inversionista? How long have you been investing?
15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
Come on, it's you're 33, it was
So when I was 18, 19.
18, 19, oh my god, super young. Ok, hace 15 años empezó a invertir, entonces ya lleva un poco, bastante de experiencia más bien. So yeah, what's the most difficult part?
I would say it was a form of discrimination, actually. Discriminación.
Why?
So the companies where I worked at and my peers, a a lot of them are exactly the same. Similar, they're male guys, they went to the same school, not as many females, unfortunately, go to the same schools, they study the same things. A lot of them are related. Nepotism? Yeah,
Nepotismo.
there's a lot of nepotism in this industry, and so I never really felt like I fit in with those people.
Que casi todas las compañías con las que trabajaba eran como todas iguales y había mucho nepotismo y como que todos habían ido a la misma escuela y todos como que todos pensaban igual y como que nunca se sintió parte de eso. What's the most happy moment in your career?
The most
La parte más feliz, las más feliz de mi carrera.
So far, the happiest moment was there was an entrepreneur who I invested in, and he also was an immigrant. He's a Turkish guy living in Berlin, and he built.
Es un chico de Turquía viviendo en Berlín.
Yeah.
Y es un inmigrante también y invirtió en su proyecto.
And I invested in him, and I like at very, very beginning, maybe 5 people, 10 people, and then this past year, it went public. So that basically now all of us, la gente, like can go and buy the stock on a public exchange, and now it has 6,000 employees.
Ahora tiene 6,000 empleados y ya prácticamente puedes comprar su producto en todas partes.
And the thing is, I wasn't the most important person. The entrepreneur, the CEO, was the most important person. But I think if he hadn't have met me or met us at the time, the company wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't have gotten the funding, and it would have, the seed of the flower would have never grown into a flower.
So, esa semilla jamás se hubiera convertido en una flor si, no hubiera conocido a este emprendedor. Is there something missing in your life?
Ooh, great question. I would say 2 things are missing. And I was just thinking about it. It was my birthday 2 days ago, so
right.
A lot of reflection. The first thing that's missing is now that I've started my own fund, finding a new mentor, finding someone who has gone through this specific experience or even similar experience that I've had, and try to.
Ahora que cumplió 33 años, ha estado reflexionando mucho justamente respecto a esta pregunta y quiere como encontrar a un nuevo mentor, a un nuevo maestro.
Maestro, yeah. Because every time, I told you when I was young, I changed, right? I changed from being academic to more social, and then, when I was in college, I was different, and then when I was in post-college and having a job, I was different. And every time I changed, I sought out new people who saw me for who I was, and I saw them for who they were, and I admire them, and I just wanted to be around them. And being around people you admire is so good because it affects you.
Oh, fuck, I love it.
Yeah.
Él dice que todo el tiempo ha estado cambiando desde pequeño y ahora él sabe perfectamente que estar con gente que admiras es lo mejor que puedes hacer. What would be the second thing that it's missing in your life?
The second thing would be, I would say, I want to find more people who are as comfortable with self-growth as I am.
Quiere encontrar más gente que se sienta con esa seguridad de crecer como él.
And so my hope and my desire is to find more people like that, like you. You're like this too. You are about self-growth and change, and need to find more people like that because they make you better.
Él dice que necesita encontrar más gente así, o sea, gente que se permita soñar en grande, que confíen en eso y porque eso te mantiene a ti también motivado y te inspira también a hacer cosas más grandes. Te incita a ser mejor, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Cool. It's been such a pleasure, Farooq. Again, thanks so much for taking me here. Thanks so much for existing. That's what we say. Such a light human being, un hombre con mucha luz, mucha magia. Y su sonrisa no puede mentir, su sonrisa es como puedes conocer a una persona, así que otra vez mi gente de Venturita, creo que es algo bien importante eso, o sea, elegir de quién nos rodeamos y es increíble como conectando este tipo de gente con la misma energía, con la misma vibración, se pueden hacer cosas muy grandes y muy importantes y tienes que ser un líder para poder lograrlo y él es justamente un líder, es lo que está haciendo. Finally, what would you say to people who is right now in a place that they just don't like talking about being in a relationship or either a job that you just don't like it or your life, like if you are not happy with your life, like what would you say to all these people?
The first small thing to do is
La primera cosa pequeña para hacer,
to change your routine.
cambia tu rutina.
So, it's very easy in life to be comfortable, go to the same job, go to the same place for lunch, go here, go there. And actually some of the best ideas and also your perspective changes when you just do small things different.
Es muy fácil levantarte y hacer todos los días lo mismo, ir a un mismo lugar a comer, pero estos pequeños cambios de cambiar tu rutina, algo pequeño todos los días, va a servir.
Maybe it's hanging out with a new friend.
Tal vez salir con un nuevo amigo.
Try a new sport by yourself.
A un nuevo deporte.
So use your frustration to just try to let it go and try something new, and the right thing will come to you.
Entonces, cuando te sientes frustrado, trae una cosa nueva y vas a refrescar tu mira, tu cerebro y algo va a salir.
And you don't have to force the answer.
No forces la respuesta.
And the last thing I'll say, the second thing, would be you know yourself better than everyone else.
La segunda cosa es que tú te conoces mejor que nadie más en el mundo.
But the people that you love
Y la gente que te ama,
know you
amas,
know you differently.
te conoce de una forma diferente.
They know you differently than you know yourself. And
De una
so,
forma diferente que la forma en la que tú te conoces a ti mismo.
so imagine if you talk to your friends and you ask them and say hey, how do you think I'm doing?
Si la preguntas a tus amigos, oye, ¿cómo crees que me está yendo? ¿Cómo me ves?
They'll actually share and be you're not your best self, or you're acting a little differently, or I've noticed that you do these things. Let's talk about it.
Yo me estoy dando cuenta que estás haciendo esto y vamos a hablar respecto a ello.
So it's good to ask. It's good to
Es
ask.
bueno preguntar, but it depends. Who are you asking, right? Because
only the closest people.
Closest people, okay. Porque preguntarle a la gente, oye, ¿cómo me ves? Y entonces te van a decir. Entonces tienes que tener cuidado a quién le preguntas porque, o sea, puede ser contraproducente, ¿no? Entonces, a tu gente más cercana y a la gente que más amas, es bueno saber su perspectiva. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for helping us to change your minds. And I truly believe, whenever you're surrounded with this, love people, passion people, crazy people, funny people, no drama people, all these kind of things. It's just it makes your life so much better, easier, and great.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I'll just say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
From my heart, from my heart in my hand. Thanks so much. And
Same.
It's a pleasure. And from here, I want to keep your friendship forever.